to our discussion 3 of 3 with our young adults as we continue to talk about the prolonged period effect of adulthood. Let's get started again, and what we'll do, we'll introduce ourselves. I think we have one that participated in discussion 1, and so we'll start here. Ask you to introduce yourself,
All right.
and then we'll go here and here as you've already introduced yourself.
James, 27. I have a son. Career, I work on cars, auto technician. My interests, hobbies slash stuff like that is working on music. I attended RMBC all my life, and not currently in any ministries consistently.
All right.
Okay, so my name is Affinity Holder. I'm 26 years old. I am single, but currently in a relationship, no children. My career, I am a realtor slash caregiver for my 94-year-old great-grandmother. Primary hobby, I love to work out, exercise. I'm outdoorsy, like to work with my hands, build. That's who I am. How long have I attended here? I've been here I just joined 2 weeks ago, so yay to that. But I've been here on and off for a few months, and I am currently a part of the youth ministry, emerging youth
That's
praise
right.
team.
Yeah, virgin. I like it. I like it.
Okay, my name is Tyler Burton. I'm age 26 as well. I'm single as well, but in a relationship, as she said before. My career, I'm currently a Division I football player at Central Connecticut State University. My hobbies and things I like to do, I like to train, work out, just give that time, stuff like that. Give back when I can to like youth and stuff like that. That's what I mainly do with my training. And then I just been like attending, you can say about a month now and some change. I just currently got back to North Carolina, so that's part reason. And as far as like, being a part of ministry, I'm not there yet with it, but I do look forward to, joining soon.
Right. Now let's get just for the record, relationship.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, good. So this last discussion, we want to. It's not a case study. It's a panel discussion, but we're going to view, I would say, the ultimate social relational issues of the ultimate young adult, a young adult named Jesus. And so let's get right into it. We know, according to Luke chapter 2, Jesus started preparing for business at age 12. And I know, most, if not all of you have, some level of college. But I start with you, James. Otto, at what age did you discover what you wanted to pursue in life? What age?
I still don't know. I still don't know. I mean, I just go for what pays the most money, and then, because that's, for me, my biggest interest is taking care of my son and taking care of my family the best way, so.
So it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Anybody else? What age did you discover real estate or business? What age did you first discover what you wanted to pursue in life or to go to college for?
It really came to me young, to be honest. I always was kind of like I guess you can say like, the oddball when it came to my family, so like they would kind of be like over there with it, and then like I kind of like from like, different skill sets and things like that, it kind of like brought me to a different world in that aspect. So I got to see a lot of different things early. So once I did, it kind of gave me like the blueprint that I felt like I needed to, like understand like how to run things for myself and, like not do it in a way that's like I'm not listening to anybody else's output and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So just for ways for me to like really understand like how to, hear everybody's thoughts, but like keep my main point the main point, you know what I'm saying? So
Right. So you said, so it was an early age when you just sort of knew exactly where you wanted to go in life, right?
Well, for me, I guess from an early age, but not so much early, I kind of did everything that my family expected of me, and I didn't really know who I was. I just know I love to learn. I was very like a sponge, anything you throw at me, I like to, obtain. So I knew always college was in the picture, but I never knew the bigger picture. So now at 26, learning who I am and starting to learn who I am, I'm starting to like step in that, find my interests, and find what I can do and how I can impact.
What about you? What age did you start to discover what you wanted to do with life?
After college. I know for me, thankfully I'm able to use my degree for what I do desire to do. I found a way to weave it in there, but my desire is to be able to do photography full time, coupled with ministry. But it wasn't until after college when I really picked up my first camera and just fell in love with it. So I probably didn't have to go to school for rocking to save some money. But
Question, on that note, man, college. College is important because, or college is not important because.
I think college is important with just in that aspect of educating yourself, learning how to gather your thoughts and express them. I think that's the way I feel like college is most beneficial, because sometimes we may struggle in speaking and getting our mental thoughts out to the public, or maybe writing. So I think that's important in involving those skills.
Oh, great. Yeah. It's funny, right now I'm learning to articulate, and I go through voice exercises, and my wife, she's not an encourager. How did, if you grew up, again, thinking of age 12, how did the church help or hinder you towards achieving your goal, even when you were young?
it didn't.
No, it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
It did.
Yeah.
All right, great. And that's one of the things that we really wanted to get into. I wonder why.
Why didn't it?
Right.
That's a mystery right there. I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this then. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think it just kind of goes back to like what they were saying in the previous discussion about, it just seemed like everything you did kind of wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? In that sense. So it's like, in a way, it kind of like was like, I'd rather just go through it and just figure out like what the outcome is, and then like start building from there, and then like start correcting myself from what I know I need to do from the word. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah. I noticed with some of our younger ones today, there's places, one even in this area called Explorers of Marbles, where kids can just go and sort of find out what they wanted to do. Were you ever, even in church, were you ever just allowed to do what it was you wanted to do, or were you always dictated what you had to do?
Dictated.
Dictated.
Yeah, it was either the choir, the praise,
I was on the
dance,
usher
team. Yeah.
My mom was the head usher.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, let me ask you this. We know, according to John chapter 2, at the wedding, when Jesus was, approached at the wedding, he told him, "My time has not yet come." His mother sort of pushed him, and said, "Whatever he tells you to do, do it." When you look back, over your life, are there things that you wish perhaps maybe whether it was your parent or others would have pushed you a little bit more?
For sure. I would say, like, I mean, I did the things anyway, but I wish it would have came from my parents, like buying a home, telling me to do that, you know what I'm saying, or credit, saving money, like, you know what I'm saying, they instilled a little bit, like, I seen them do it, but they never pushed it like, hey, this is possible to do it at an early age.
Right, great. Who else? Anybody else wish you would have been pushed to do something a little bit more?
Yeah, I think when I was little, I think the biggest thing that I remember as a kid, I think y'all had signed me up. It was 2 different occasions. Y'all signed me up for piano lessons, and you signed me up for gymnastics. And when I did not want to go, you let me quit. And so now I'm thinking back to that, and I'm like, I would have known how to play an instrument of some sort had they made me stick that out, Or instead of it being Gabby Douglas, it would have been Gabby Hicks. Hello, somebody. But I think about that kind of stuff. It's like,
So yeah, allowing you to quit. Let me ask you, now that you are emerging adults, who do you depend on for that push now? Who pushes you now when you want to quit or when you feel like you don't want to do something? Where's that push coming from now?
It's definitely coming from a higher faith now. I had to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I played ball away from home, you know, so that really showed me a lot. That barrier that I had with communication and things like that, it made me, you know, really like had to like grow up and, you know, really be a man about stuff, you know what I'm saying? And like really just take my time with decision making. That's what I really learned when I was out there by myself. Because out there, you know, moms and dads went out there, if you made a mistake, you know what I'm saying? You had to kind of like pick up the pieces as you was going. So it taught me a lot of things just going through that. So I feel like,
So you just sort of push. So now you're self-driven, is what you say.
yes, sir.
Another aspect of Jesus, he said something very, I guess I would say hurtful. He said he felt dishonored among his own. He said that among others, you know, in other places, he felt honored and respected. But among his own family or even among his own church community, he felt without honor. When have you ever felt dishonored by an older adult? Share an experience or something where you just felt like, you know, I'm grown, but you just felt dishonored.
Well, I can speak for me. I'm going through that now at the age of 26. But coming home from school and just living life and making the wrong decisions and understanding that you made the wrong decision and holding yourself accountable for that. But also just coming back home has regrounded me. Like, it has really grounded me to the point where understanding where I come from and stuff. And back to the question, just the battle with my grandmother. She's 94. That's a whole nother generation than where I am. So, you know, they do things differently. They sort of stuck in their ways or but me coming back home and made those mistakes is kind of like looked down upon, maybe a belittle. But just because them not understanding, but they see that I'm trying to work my way up out of whatever I got myself into, making my own decisions. So I'm praying that, you know, it gets better, and I know it will. So that's just, yeah.
Anybody else ever just felt dishonored by someone that's older?
I wouldn't call it dishonor. It's so funny because this recently just happened to myself along with another young adult. You know, we're in the middle of planning a conference, and it's kind of like, you know, they give you the list. Well, don't make sure you do this, and when you do, and of course they weren't trying to dishonor, but it's kind of like they think that we're young, but it's kind of like we're in our 30s. Like, we've planned events before, you know, so this isn't anything new. But I think sometimes they look at us as the younger ones, and it's kind of like a hand-holding thing. They didn't mean any harm by it, but it's just kind of like we know what we do. We don't really need hand-holding, you know. And I actually plan events. Like, that is what I do for my job. So I think people just, sometimes they just don't know. You know, they just look at you as a young person. It's like they really don't think that you have experienced any life.
So do you feel in church, do you feel disrespected at times, or that you're not treated as an equal adult?
Yeah.
What about you, James?
Yeah, because you grew up here your whole life.
Because it's got to be a challenge, you know, if you're new and you can come in and says I'm fully grown, but if you've grown up in a church.
I feel like people probably still look at me as little, you know what I'm saying, little baby James and whatnot, but I mean,
James got a baby.
right. I think Avery done took that spot. I think since I had him, that kind of made people maybe be like, okay, he's an adult, he's a father, doing all that. So,
You know, at what age then do you start to make yourself appear to be? Again, you know, we talked in one of the struggles, you know, with Jesus, because you think about it, even among his brothers, he was the oldest, but they understood his gifting, but they didn't understand him. You know, how do you go about making people, helping people to understand who you are, Or is it important? Or, because I know sometimes in a generation you say, I don't care if they understand me or not. Is it important that when you're among others that they understand you? Or is it, hey, understand me if you want or don't? I mean, is that important for others to understand you or to respect you? Or is it that old adage, you have to earn respect to get respect?
I mean, for me, I would say it's not important for me per se because I feel like another person's opinion doesn't really weigh that much on me. Because if I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, I'm doing good at what I'm doing, and it doesn't matter.
All right, let me ask you this. We also know on many occasions there were those who, even angels, who when Jesus went through his season of his greatest temptation, the Bible says after he was tempted, the angels came and ministered to him. Also, the Bible speaks of when there were a group of women and others who came and supported Jesus in his need. When did you need your church the most, but no one came to your rescue? Has there ever been those situations where you were going through something, whether it was a temptation, whether it was a hard point in life, where you needed that supportive community, but no one came to your rescue? Anybody ever had that situation where you were going through something and you needed your church, or you needed that support group, or even your support of your brothers and sisters, but maybe you had to lean to those who of the world because you just didn't get that support group? What? I see you shaking your head in Infinity. In what way?
Definitely after I dropped out of the first university I was in my early 20s. I was just reaching 20. I had a situation happen, like I said, based on my own decisions. But I even went I went out to reach to my pastor, and I just didn't get a response or get the support that I felt like I needed. Even after that, I would follow up, and I still felt like I wasn't getting the support, like not even words of encouragement to get me out of this place. So I went to the opposite. I went to the world and tried to find it that way, and those things. But they had their own repercussions. But now I'm coming back in.
Yeah, that's honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. Like, it does seem like, and then those people, they love you, and they try to give you what they think is the right way. Because I think that people who love us, even if they're not in the church, like they give you what they feel is the best advice, even if it's not the Word of God, which is the best advice. But I think you're right. I think that they are a lot more support. They can be a lot more supportive and available versus people of the church, because a lot of times, instead of getting the encouragement you need, a lot of times they tell you what you're doing wrong. And it's like, I already understand that. That's why I've come to you in the first place. That's why I'm here. But instead of you telling me or re-emphasizing what I've done wrong, which I already know, that's why I'm here, encourage me, hug me. Don't shove the Word of God down my throat right away. Love on me first. And I think that's the biggest reason why a lot of people are turned off by the church, because we want to lecture and be like, well, this is what you need to do. I'm telling you what you need to do. And half the time we don't even say what thus says the Lord.
Yeah, there's this old adage that says, that, the church automatically just assumes that people know we're here when they need us. We don't have a sign that says we're open or we're here when we need us. Is that the assumption that we make sometimes, that people, especially young adults, that if you don't come to us, you don't need us? Yeah. How do we know when you need us?
You check in, you call and check in on us.
So during your college years, did anyone ever call to check in on you?
No.
Did you want anyone to call and check in?
Yes.
I mean, I had my parents, but I didn't necessarily want to talk to my parents about, y'all checked in on me all the time, but I didn't necessarily want to talk to y'all about everything that I was dealing with, because I wanted to feel like I had it under control. But it would have been nice if somebody a little older than me, because I don't want another person my parent age. Now, you can call and check in, but it would have been nice if somebody a little bit older who had been there, done that, reached back out to me and said, hey, how's college going? I can share what I got going on. They can relate. They can talk to me about how they overcame. it just would have been nice.
So now here comes the hot seat question. Think about those that may be a tad bit younger than you. We're in the graduation season of high school and college. Has it ever been instilled, or how has it been instilled in you to reciprocate and do the same, to call and check on other young people? Or is that something that's not even shared, that's something that needs to be done?
I do it.
Yeah,
I do it.
I just now started to see it. 'Cause I was so stuck in what I was doing that I didn't have time to focus and see what others may be going through. So I think I'm just now starting to see it, opening up in this tutoring program and dealing with kids and hearing their situations and what they're going through. It's like, okay, now I gotta reverse it and start worrying about me kind of having support and being a support system for somebody else.
Speaking of that, we know that, Jesus was very mission minded, and some would even consider him to be radical. But just think about it, I know you mentioned, certain things for kids, and you mentioned certain things for kids, and likewise. What missions are needed for today's young adult that's not being done? James, I saw you mention that, knowing more about whether it's financing but what other missions, and when I say missions, I guess I'm saying what other things are needed mostly for young adults today that even perhaps that the church is not doing. What what things should we be doing for the emerging age group 25 to 40?
I would say even things that help us prepare for that next step, because a lot of us, we desire marriage at some point. So even things where we can get with other married couples and talk to them about what to expect, talking to older women who have had successful marriages. I had a friend of mine, she waited until she was married. Her and her husband, they both waited. Never had been intimate. And she told me, she said, I feel like the church failed me. And I was shocked. And I was like, what do you mean? You waited? And she said, yeah, they pushed that. So I did wait because they told me that it was important to remain, to be abstinent until I got married. She said, but then when it was supposed, she said, I was so ashamed. She said, because I was always told, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. She said, now that I can do it and that God honors that, she said, I was so unprepared. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to, and she said, I just felt like I was lost. And she said, and I also felt ashamed because no man had ever seen my body. She said, so the church didn't talk about, oh, when you marry, it's a good thing and God honors that in a marriage, and you don't feel ashamed to be like that in front of your husband. She said, I just did not know what to expect.
So sexual relations is taboo in the church.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because everybody looks at it as a bad thing, but when it's of marriage, it's a beautiful thing. The Lord honors it, and He wants us to do it when you marry, and it's like nobody talks about it.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I believe that I found that we've exposed is for us, especially in African American church, college has been our end game. Get you to go to college, we feel touchdown, we've succeeded. All right. What were you told to go to college, but was there any sort of fuel that went along with it, or I know we in our season of graduation normally we give you a Bible, maybe give you a parting check and say go all 4 years, come back and be successful. Was there anything else that went along with that you can recall, or was it just you're 18 now?
That's pretty much how it was. I never really had anybody really push me to go to college or do anything like that. I just know I wanted different than what I seen. So
That's good.
I had talents. I said I was gonna use one of them, and that's what I'm doing.
Mine was the opposite. I was going because it was something that had never been done in my family before.
Right.
You're going to be the first one to go and to actually complete it and get a degree.
Right.
Because my dad, he went back, but later, because he went into the military right after school. And my mom, she went she tried, but having a little girl when you young and a freshman in college, she couldn't maintain it, so it's like, so she ended up having to drop out of school. So it's like, you're gonna do something that has never been done in our family. You're gonna go to college right after high school and you're gonna get this degree.
All right. What mission would you start right now? Today. You are respected as an adult in the church, and they say, James, we want you to start a mission or start something. What are you starting? Whether it's for your son age or for your niece age or even for the 18-year-old. What are you starting?
I would start something for like the high school age boys, just to understand themselves and understand what they're being prepared for going into adult life, because nobody really talks about it like that, and what you have to expect as yourself as a man.
What would you start?
Can it be my age group?
No.
That I'm doing? Oh, it's got to be somebody younger. Okay, I mean, it's got to be something younger.
Right. No, any age group.
Okay.
What would you start?
I would say, trying to help young women prepare and young men prepare for marriage, because we don't talk about what to expect. It's like you just get married.
We don't talk about Bruno, right?
Yeah. Talk about Bruno.
Where would you start? Yeah, you're in front of the age adults, and they say, what are you gonna start?
Definitely something to empower youth. I will use physical education and also just my knowledge of what I know, just to teach and be there and be that support to help prepare them for the next steps. Something that wasn't done for me, I felt like.
I love that.
And I can add to that really, because that's really what I been like planning on and like putting some work in for, to be honest. Like you were saying too earlier about like the teenage, like high school, about to leave high school type, because I didn't really have I didn't have an example. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have an example. My dad, he didn't finish high school. My mom didn't finish high school, so I was kind of going into it blinded, and that's why I had to, take off from North Carolina and go over to California and stuff like that and play JUCO ball. I'm not sure if y'all know what that is, but so I did that, and so that's what I just want to be a mentor for, like, just talking to those young guys, and not even if you not trying to do that, as a career or anything, like just a big change in general, like having to like be prepared for that emotionally, like those type of things that come with it, because so many people, I feel like they focus on like just being in the space, but they don't pay attention to like the inner person, because like without you like being connected to the inner person, it don't matter what place you're in, you're gonna be lost, so
Awesome.
you got to learn how to control your emotions.
Great. Well, unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, we've come to the end of our third discussion. Thank you all so much for all of you for today. We look forward to our follow-up, and I appreciate you all, and I'm excited about it, about where I perceive that the Lord will continue to take us. But again, thank you so much for participating, and I just look forward to our next time getting together.